Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome back to the channel, where today I am going to be reviewing the City Blues Quartet by Ray Celestin. Now, I did reviews of books 2 and 3 of this tetralogy, I suppose, so I'll leave a link in the description below, but for some reason I didn't do one of the first book, and when I did the review of the third book, it got very few views, but I still read the books, I still enjoy them, I still want to give an overview and maybe make you think whether this series is for you. So, this series is the City Blues Quartet is a historical fiction, crime thriller type thing, so all thrown in together, written by British author Ray Celestin, and it's set in different time periods in each book. So they can be read independently of each other, which I suppose it's perfectly fine. I think there's possibly better or more rounded books within the tetralogy, but I enjoyed them all. I enjoyed them all. Perhaps my favorite is the last one, but I'll talk about it a little bit later. Now, the catch here, the unique selling point of this series is that it follows Ida, young Ida, which is young Ida in book 1, which is a young a young investigator, private investigator, that solves the Axeman's murders in Louisiana way back during Prohibition. So the first book is set in Louisiana, and again the catch is that it also follows the career of Louis Armstrong, the jazz musician. So Ida and Louis are childhood friends, and in order to solve the crimes, every so often Ida calls on Louis's connections in the crime world or in business to help her solve the crimes. So Axeman's Jazz, book 1, is set in New Orleans in 1919. So the historical context is great in all the books, and this one is particularly heavy on the racial tensions at the time, prevalent at the time in the southern states. And it was a winner of the Crime X Thriller Awards held by ITV, one of the TV channels in the UK. The second book, and I don't know why, but I've spoiled the whole edition thing I've got in hardback, is Dead Man's Blues, which is the second take. So now both Ida and Louis Armstrong have moved on a little bit in their careers, and they are now based in Chicago. So this book deals with the whole Al Capone thing, his trial and final apprehension by the FBI. So the setting is there. Capone features prominently in the book, and we get a bit of a character portrait of Al Capone and all that Chicago mob thing going on there. So again, the historical elements are pretty heavy there, and yeah, definitely most enjoyable. Book 3 is The Mobster's Lament, and now we move on. We are now in New York in 1947. So we have the whole 5 families of the mafia thing, and we are introduced to a new character. So there is a mob fixer. He's trying to solve something for the mafia. Ida gets involved when a young man appears dead, and it all intertwines together rather nicely. I did a review of the book, so I'll leave a link in the description below. Yeah, so this was an edge of the seat crime epic, most definitely. Finally, the last book in the series, which I believe came out in 2021, is Sunset Swing, and very aptly titled Sunset, because we are now in LA 1967, so a good 50 years after the events of the first book. So So now Ida Young ain't so young anymore. She's looking for retirement, but she gets roped in for one final case. What I really, once again, this book is set at the time, and this one is the biggest one in terms of the conspiracy here, because it all revolves around Ronald Reagan when he was making inroads as governor of California and the start of his political career. So pretty murky there. There's a commentary certainly on the Hollywood of the 60s that was already on the downturn, and also a commentary on life, particularly in LA. Now, I really like this one here. I'm just going to quickly read sort of a summary. This is on page 115. Hopefully I won't get into any copyright issues because it's just one line. But just to summarize this book, somehow we need to make folklore, so Louisiana folklore, the Night Slayer, the mob, and a runaway woman in a motel room all mesh. And that's it. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of different threads here. But I think it's the most rounded out of all the 4 books. It's the one that meshes everything together the best. This one was winner of the Crime Writers Award Historical Dagger, and it was also winner of the Crime Writers Association Gold Dagger Award. So very enjoyable. Again, there's no particular reading order. You could start wherever you wanted. But if you like historical fiction, or if you like crime thrillers, you could do a lot worse than this. And if you like those two things together, even better. The only criticism, and I already mentioned it in my review of book 3, Mobster's Lament, is that Ray Celestin doesn't shy away from forcing the timeline to make the whole experience better. He doesn't let a few days or a couple of months get in the way of telling a better story. So he will shift real life events around by a few months just to make the story more epic, more exciting, more interesting. Now, depending on your take, that's a big no-no, because I remember when I interviewed, I had the joy of talking to Tim Powers in the channel. He was like, no, you must absolutely respect the timeline. So go figure. But anyway, these are my thoughts, my opinions on the City Blues Quartet. Definitely most enjoyable. Who doesn't enjoy a crime thriller every now and then? And if you got a bit of historical fiction, and if you got a bit of social commentary around the time thrown in for good measure, even better. This one is also heavy on the conspiracy theory and CIA and drug cartels and all the stuff. So really enjoyable, possibly deserving of all the awards that it got. These are my thoughts, my opinions. As usual, thank you ever so much for watching. Take loads and lots of care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.